Welcome back to another video. I'm your trader Sam, and we need to have a discussion here about Bitcoin because things are starting to get juicy. We're getting very close to this sloping trend line here where we could see a big move to the upside. Lots to talk about, short trade setups as well. But before we jump into that, please remember, I am not a financial advisor. Anything I say in this video is for educational purposes. And you know what time it is. You already know. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button for the algorithm, guys. Let's do it together. Let's help this channel grow, right? Let's get into it. So we have come up above this value area high. We have retested it for a sign of strength, consolidated a little bit, and we have tried to break out of this zone at 27,390 approximately. 3 or 4 attempts, and we didn't get a massive drop. We didn't get a follow through to the downside. So that tells us there is strength up here. I am expecting for price to go higher here and at least test this sloping trend line here where we have 27,616. We have this important daily level, this MPOC level, etc. Now, a nice setup to look for to get into shorts would be price coming up, faking out of this sloping trend line. A lot of retail traders will be looking at this sloping trend line because there are a lot of breakout traders that like to buy the breakouts, right? But what happens often is on the initial attempt at breaking out, you do get that pullback. You get that pullback before the big pump, okay? So what we can be looking at is getting in at this level here, at the daily level, at the 27,616 level. What we want to be looking for is price coming up, creating those long wicks. You know those candles with the really long wicks, the shooting stars, the inverted hammers, showing us that price is not gaining acceptance above these levels. We want to get in at the first sign of weakness, so price dipping beneath, or we want to get in at the retest. Okay, so on lower time frames, when you fail to break that level, often on the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute charts, you get this quick retest coming up to the 618 or retesting that high for a second SFP, failing to break above, and that's where you want to get in. You want to get in quickly, have your invalidation close by, because you need to identify that we are in an upwards trend. The trend is your friend. So any shorts that you do get in an upwards trend, you want to be making sure that you take profits early. Now this setup could be the same for the MPOC or this SFP here at 28,134. The strategy remains the same. The level it goes to doesn't really matter. We just want to be watching what price action is doing at the level. We want to look for that sign of weakness, and then we want to get in. Now, the higher this goes, the more likely that we will be supported on the first retest of this sloping trend line, okay? Just bear that in mind. The only setup I see here locally for getting into longs would be if price were to come down and claim these lows, either claiming these lows just here or down here, right? Because then we can have our invalidation right here. We can have our stop loss just beneath, all right? A nice tight stop loss beneath our invalidation zone. We want to wait for those high probability setups. We don't want to rush anything because we're looking to preserve our capital as well as make money. Preserving capital is equally as important. Now, guys, if price just starts to pump up here, it doesn't show any sign of weakness, just stay away. Don't worry about it because eventually we will get that pullback. We will get that pullback to this sloping trend line where we can load up on our longs. And I'll definitely be updating when that happens, so don't worry about it. I am seeing a bit of confluence here when I take the Fibonacci retracement tool from this low this high over here. The golden pocket is coming in within the region of the value area high and daily level. So we can definitely look for longs down here if price comes down here. Looking at the ES, guys, we did break trend here and we are now retesting that zone. a few failed attempts to get back above this trend line here. So if we don't manage to get above the point of control in the coming hours or day or so, then this is going to be looking short-term bearish for the ES, which would have a knock-on effect definitely for Bitcoin. We really want to be following what the ES is doing, because if the ES does come down and loses 4,435, things will definitely be looking bearish in the short to mid-term for Bitcoin. And of course, if we start pumping here for the ES, gaining acceptance above this point of control, going on to test these highs up here at 4,545, things will be looking really nice for Bitcoin. But right now, guys, we are consolidating in the middle of this range here at the point of control. So we really want to be staying away from any trades right now. Like I said before, if we do come down here at the value area low, taking out these lows down here definitely will be a trigger for a long, given we failed to break beneath and then we gain acceptance back above. So that's really it right now for Bitcoin, guys. There's not too much more to add. However, this can be looking very juicy in the coming weeks, because this trend line over here, this kind of price action where the second touch of this trend line, you get this huge sharp drop, spring back up, the sideways consolidation, and now we are retesting that zone once again. This can definitely be, if you do a quick Google search of what a bump and run pattern is, you'll see it is exactly this over here. It's clear to see the correlation between this and what is happening now for Bitcoin. We even had that initial bump and run pattern right over here, where we had 1, 2, 3 touches, sharp move down. Now the price target for these bump and run patterns are where the move started. So right up the top where you have the first touch, that's where we can be aiming for. So up here where we had the first touch, that is the yearly highs. Now that is quite optimistic. Personally, I do think there's going to be loads of resistance at this value area low of this range up here. You can see we have an MPOC weekly, we have multiple MPOC levels, weekly levels, daily levels. There's just a load of resistance up here. So yeah, guys, up here, the first attempt at trying to break above this value area low at 29,400 within this big zone up here, the first attempt of trying to break up here, when price gets there, it's going to be a really nice short. But anyway, that's to come in the coming days and weeks. I would be extremely surprised if we just rolled over and came down basically to this point of control, or these lower levels down here at 25,800, 25,000, etc. But of course, anything can happen. If you're enjoying these short updates, I do much more in-depth analysis in the Legends Discord community, link right over here. Lots more trade setups, in-depth analysis, post video examples of what I'm looking at daily, multiple times a day. Also, guys, if you're looking for a very good exchange, I recommend Bybit. I use it myself. Most of the traders I know, they do use Bybit. It has the lowest fees. It's very user-friendly, extremely easy to use. You can speak to support within seconds, and you can claim up to $30,000 worth in bonuses by using this link right over here. So that's it for this update, guys. I hope you did find value from this. Trade well, and I will catch you on the next one. Ciao.